What's up, people? Been back out in the garage. Had a late night last night. Had some buddies over. We watched the UFC fight last night. Can't believe Cormier pulled it out. Definitely thought Stipe was gonna have him. And that heavyweight fight, that Nagano, man, that shit was terrible. Anyways, got out here a little late because I'm a little hungover. We're gonna do a video. I got some more LED lights for the Dodge Ram. These lights are for the bed of it. So we'll do an unboxing, do an install, and see how well they work. Alright guys, so let's check out what's inside the bag first. This was sent to me by a company called SUNJOY LED. I'll post a link in the description box below in case you guys are interested. These ones I probably personally wouldn't buy for myself, for my setup, but this might be good for somebody that goes to car shows, takes their truck out there or something, because it actually does multiple different lights and it has a remote as well as just regular white light. So here's your remote, here's your control box that the lights hook up to, this is your power, it's your negative and power here. You got double-sided sticky tape here if you choose to mount them that way. And there's two sets of lights. Also has screws if you want to screw these pods to your truck bed. So each one comes with, there's two lights, two strands of lights for each side, and I'm pretty sure that there's 8 pods. There's 8 pods. And each one has 6 LEDs built in. So this is a little bit different than actual strip ones that you guys might have seen in the past, where it's just a strip of LEDs. This one is 4 pods, and each one has 6 LEDs. Also comes with a rocker switch for each, if you want to use that instead of the remote. Also has instructions here. We're not going to need them though. Just in case anybody that's not familiar with installing these, it does come with instructions. So we're going to take a look at these real quick. Alright guys, so this is what the pods look like. They got a waterproof seal over them to protect the circuit board and the LEDs. 2 holes here to screw them in. You might be able to utilize this middle hole here for a screw. I don't know if I would though, because it might mess up or bend, because this is just aluminum here. And then like I said, they give you the two-sided sticky tape here if you want to use that. I'll probably end up using the sticky tape for now. So I just want to see how well these work, and then if I like them, and for whatever reason this doesn't hold up, I'll go through and screw these in. So what we'll do is, we'll do the install, do some wiring, and we'll see how well these work. Alright guys, so the first thing I did was took a look to see where I wanted to mount these. I think I'm going to mount them up underneath the rail here. I kind of don't like the idea of these wires being exposed, or where they look like they might hang if they're not pulled tight when I mount these. And then I took out my tail light here. I'll probably do it on both sides. So I think I'm going to run the wire through that hole there into where my tail light is. And then I'll probably run it down underneath the truck. And that way I can run all my wiring, like my power and everything, to my trailer hitch wiring, like I did with the camera. What also I'm going to do right now is make sure you clean off. If you're going to use the two-sided tape, make sure you clean the metal with some type of alcohol, or I'm just going to use a surface cleaner here, just so there's no contaminants, and give this two-sided tape that's a good chance to stick. Alright guys, so Went ahead and ran the wire through here and mounted the light pods up under there with the two-sided tape. Now when I stretched them out from the front of the bed to the back, I ended up having this little bit of excess wire for this last one here. And if I'm not mistaken, my truck bed's 6.5 foot, so this might be perfect for an 8-foot bed maybe. But with anything smaller, you're gonna end up having this excess wire here. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'll probably just twist tie it up in here, bunch it up, and then twist tie it up in here so you don't see it, because I definitely don't like how that extra wire is just hanging there. But my plans are, I got the wire run the wires down through here so it goes underneath my truck to do the rest of the wiring for the power. Right now I'm just going to run this side with the lights, and I'll continue using the two-sided tape because it seems like it's working pretty well. Alright, so there's the wire ran on that side coming out, and I got the wire ran in there. And just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to run the wires here so I can explain to you guys how this actually hooks up. If you look here on the wires themselves, they have arrows, and that's how you want to connect them to the controlling box. Do the same thing with this one. You'll just connect it. This right here is for the remote control. And then this is for the power, which plugs in there, and then you just run this to a positive and negative. Now you don't necessarily have to use this box. That's why they provide these switches here. You actually can run, if you see how the white wire is actually ran to the switch, you could bypass all these other colors here, not use the box, and you could just run a standalone switch for each side that just runs the white wire. So you would just run power to that. And then you can mount the switch in the back if you want. I've seen where people put in those push pins, drill a push pin right in here that's wired to negative, so every time you pop the tailgate open, it creates a contact so power goes to the lights. I don't always open my gate when I need light back here, so I'm just going to leave it with the remote for right now. I'm going to run it that way just to see how well these work. There's a switch for the other side. You can wire this however you want, whatever's the simplest or the easiest way for you. I was even thinking about wiring it to the bed light back there, so that every time the bed light comes on, these lights would come on. But I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to wire it up. This box, you're probably going to want to try to put this box in an area where it's not going to get a whole lot of moisture, because I'm not assuming that this is waterproof. Actually on the box there it says IP20, which I think that this can handle a little bit of moisture and dust, but it can't be submerged or anything. So you're going to want to tuck that up somewhere where there's not a whole lot of moisture getting to it. So I'm going to finish wiring this up. I'm going to wire it to my trailer harness, and then we'll test it out when it gets dark here. Alright guys, so I'm done with the install. Here's a quick idea of what it looks like. Now it's not real dark out right now, so I'll do some more footage when it gets a little bit darker. One thing I did want to talk about though is if you plan on using the control box so that you can get different modes for colors and stuff, like so. The downfall that I found with it was if you can't locate the controller box in an area where it's not going to get real wet, and the eye for the remote needs to be in clear view. I had this mounted underneath the truck, and I'm messing with my remote, and it wasn't working at all. So I went underneath the truck and use the remote again, and if I was in clear distance of the eye that's on the control box, then I had no problem. So I had to relocate the control box, put the eye in an area where if I wanted to use this remote, that it would work. Show you guys real quick, this is where I ran the remote light, right there. Kind of just ran it right where my backup camera is, so that this way I could get a clear view with the remote to turn the light on. So I have to actually use the remote and to go underneath, kind of like pointing at the bumper, and then it'll work fine. If I'm up here, I'm pushing the button, won't work. If I'm underneath, works fine. So you got to have a clear view of that eye to use this remote. If you plan on just using the white light like how you see in the back, then you can just use the switches, the rocker switches, or you can use a pin switch. It doesn't really matter, however you want to wire it. Also, when I wired it, I just grounded it to the chassis, and then I used the power wire off my trailer harness, the 12-volt power. You can run a wire from the battery all the way back for a 12-volt source. However you want to run it, it's up to you. It doesn't really matter. Whatever makes it the easiest, I guess. So that's one of the downfalls. As you can see, I kind of tucked up the wires underneath so they're not hanging anymore. And the LEDs give out a decent amount of light. It's not too bad at all. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to go over some of the features right now. From the remote, that's on, there's off, turn it back on. Then I don't know if you guys can see the remote, but it's got tons of different modes on there. This one right here is for the brightness. So see, as I just pushed it, it's not working. As soon as I go to the bumper, it's working fine. That's just to turn down the light. Turn up the light. Then you can choose different colors here. You can just choose red, green, or blue. Then different shade of that color. And then over here it has flash, strobe, fade, and smooth. Alright guys, so we'll go over a couple of the modes. This is just your regular white here. You can turn it up and down, so that's dimming it all the way down there, and you can turn it all the way up. There's red, green, blue. Then you can pick different shades from the controller. Go back to white. This is the flash mode. And with every mode you can turn it up and down. So that's slowing it down. And that's it turned up. Turn that off. This is the strobe mode. You can turn it up and down. It's all the way up. This is the fade mode. You can turn that up and down so it fades in and out faster, or you can turn it down so it's slower. And this is the final mode, which is labeled smooth mode. So it looks like it kind of just switches to all the different colors there. You can turn that up, or you can turn it down. Then we're back to white. As you guys can see here, it got a little bit darker since we've been going over the modes. And it doesn't do a bad job lighting up the bed of the truck. I'll turn it off here. So that's what it looks like right now. That's how dark it is. Turn it back on. So it's a decent amount of lighting inside the truck there. See the LEDs up underneath the rail. So all in all, not too bad. Like I said, gives a decent amount of lighting. The only thing that might be a hurdle when you're installing this is the control box. If you choose not to use the control box and you're just using the rocker switch, then you shouldn't have any problems at all. Alright guys, so that's my review of these LED truck bed lights. Guys got any questions or comments? Put them below. Guys found this video useful, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. And I'll talk to you guys later.